Francis Coppola's Dracula was almost a masterpiece. But was Keanu Reeves really the problem of this movie? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today, like you guys know, I'll be reviewing Francis Coppola's Dracula, his crazy, unique, wild take on this classic character that we all know and love. And today's a pretty exciting one because I'm a big fan of this genre. I love this genre, and I like Dracula and, you know, the Universal Monsters, Gothic horror, all that good stuff. I'm such a big fan of that genre, and we're gonna be reviewing a wildly unique and different take on this classic character that there's nothing like it out there. Like, this is the only thing of its kind. Like, this is the only version of this character. This is the most unique one out there compared to every other one, and I'm pretty excited. So let's do this. First, let's get into the good of the movie. What I thought was good. Okay, let's do this. Obviously, I gotta call out the elephant in the room, Mr. Keanu Reeves himself. Obviously, I understand, guys, everything they say about him, that he was a miscast, his horrible performance with that horrible British accent. Like, I get it. I understand the complaints. This is the thing, though. I got a different take on that, though. Just check this out. Yes, I get it. Like, right from the beginning, man, when I first saw when they first introduced Keanu Reeves' character and he first talked, yes, it was fucking rough. And I was like, okay, that's pretty rough. Obviously, it's kind of hard to take seriously Keanu Reeves doing a British accent. It's just, when he's such an American, you know, an American actor, it's like, it's not authentic at all. So I can understand where those criticisms come from, him being a miscast. Like, I get that. Like, I get that. I get where they're coming from. You know, it didn't come out the best. So right from the beginning, his introduction, it was pretty rough. It was a rough start. Like, I can understand where people are coming from. But as the movie went on, I got to see more scenes with his voice, and honestly, it was not that bad. It was okay. Like, it was okay. Like, the other scenes were okay. Like, after the introduction, when I first got to experience his acting and that voice, the other scenes after that, from here and on, they were okay. They work. Like, they work for me. Like, I really thought they actually did function. Like, it worked. So I didn't think that was that bad. I thought it was okay. Like, it was perfectly fine. And another thing is, too, as the movie went on, I just got used to it. It wasn't really a big of a deal. And to be fair, he doesn't really talk a lot in the movie, because half of the movie, he's literally stuck in the castle trying to figure out how to get out of that place, because freaking Dracula has him occupied, man. He has him seduced and distracted by hot vampire chicks, and he's just trying to figure out how to get out of that place to go back to his, you know, wife. So he didn't really talk halfway through the whole movie. So, and I got used to it, and it wasn't that bad. Besides the introduction, after that, it was perfectly okay. It was perfectly fine. Like, the other scenes after the introduction. So yes, I can understand where people are coming from and what they're saying, but at the end of the day, it wasn't that bad. It really wasn't that bad, guys. I think a lot of people are going too far, especially the critics that were on his ass when the movie came out. So I think it was uncalled for. I think people went too far when it comes to his performance and all the criticism. Yeah, it wasn't the best. Yeah, it wasn't great. Yeah, it wasn't perfect. But it wasn't bad either. It was perfectly fine. Like, he tried his best. It worked in the other scenes besides his introduction, and you just get used to it as it goes. So it wasn't that bad. It was perfectly fine. I think a lot of people are going too far with this shit, man. Honestly, that's my honest thoughts about that. And yeah, it was okay.
I doubted everything, even my mind. I was impotent with fear. I know. But, sir, I know where the bastard sleeps. I brought him there.
Okay, the plot of the movie. All right, this is where things get a little bit more interesting. You know what I realized, guys? How freaking similar the plot of this film and the Nosferatu 2024 was. They literally had the same plot and storyline, beat by beat. But then I realized, okay, oh, that makes sense. They're both adapting the classic novel, you know. They're both adaptations, you know, of that classic Bram Stoker, Dracula, you know, novel, the old book, right? They're both adaptations of that book, and so, okay, that makes sense. That's what I realized. But this is the thing, though. This is the thing. This is what I realized. I realized that this one is much more tragic. It's much more, I think it's much more tragic. I think it's much more nuanced and just more better overall, period. And it was my first time experiencing this story when in Nosferatu, the new movie. And then this is my second time, but that's what I realized, the difference in this movie compared to that. And I end up actually preferring this version of the story than the Nosferatu 2024. So I like it way better here, man. Just check this out. Check this out. Why? This is what I mean by more tragic. Literally, man. We got Dracula. He's getting ready to go into battle, and he's making out with his wife, saying his last goodbyes. So he knows and she knows that he's not going to make it. That there's a high chance that he's going to die. It's over. So they're saying their last goodbyes. But he goes into battle to fight, right? But this whole time, his wife, knowing that he's not going to make it, that he's going to die, so she accepts that. And guess what, guys? She commits suicide. But this is the thing, though. This is where it gets more fucked up. It's not the suicide. That's part of it, but this is where it really gets fucked up. He goes into battle, he fights, and guess what? He makes it. He actually survives, guys. Like, he makes it. And then by the end, he after making it, surviving, like getting through battle, after thinking that he was not gonna make it, that he was gonna die, you know, he really thought it was over. He comes back to go see his wife, all excited and happy. There's hope after all. But guess what, guys? He comes back and sees his wife dead on the floor after suicide. Just imagine that, guys. After thinking that you're about to die, you and your wife, and then you actually make it through battle after thinking it was over, like you're gonna die in battle, and then you come back home to see your wife excited, having some hope, and then you see her dead on the floor because she believed and accepted the fact that he wasn't gonna make it. Just freaking imagine that, man. You know how tragic that is? This is like a classic Shakespearean tragedy. Man, it's just way better, man. It was much more of a tragic, nuanced story take on this story, on this classic plot and storyline. And it was just much better, man. I just thought it was way better for those reasons. And yeah, like way better than the 2024 movie Nosferatu. And they're literally doing the same storyline. So I much prefer this one than the Nosferatu 2024 movie. Because in that one, instead of the vampire being obsessed with the love interest for sexual reasons just cuz, instead of that, right here we get a vampire that's obsessed with the girl, but to fill in an empty void after losing his wife. And on top of everything, all the tragedy that happened, on top of all that. So I was like, yeah, I much prefer this take than that take. I think it's way better, more tragic, and it's pretty obvious. So I much prefer this one than the new 2024 Nosferatu movie. And they're the same story. So yeah, so that really tells you something. The plot of this movie and this story is really good, man. Especially compared to other adaptations of the same story. So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on that. I'm not sure how truly accurate this movie is to the book, but all I know that is accurate from the book that I know personally is the original. Obviously, it's based off a real guy, and all I know that the real name of Dracula, the real person from the book is called Van the Impaler. That's what they called him. That was his nickname. And Bram Stoker, you know, Dracula. So pretty much, it was actually based on a real story, guy. It was like not a real story, but a real guy. Like it was based off a true dude, like a really sick individual, like really sick individual. You know, maybe some of you have heard that they would say that he would literally drink blood, like human blood. He was a cannibal. He would literally impale his victims on these big ass staves as he go, like literally as he's going to his castle. Along the way there were just bodies impaled, heads on the staves, all that crazy stuff, man. But this is the thing, another thing that I know that is accurate is the nightmarish hell sequence that's in the book. This movie adapted that. So they as far as I know, that's accurate, that they adapted that sequence from the book and like the name and stuff, man. But the way they captured that sequence in this movie is fucking flawless, man. Another reason why I like that opening was for that sequence alone, the nightmarish sequence that we got to see in the opening in the movie when it went into battle. Well, they fucking captured that shit flawlessly, and I know for a fact that's accurate from the book. And not just that, this movie's such a visual appeal, you know, it's such a visual freaking marvel, like stunning, impressive movie, right? So man, that scene, that's part of it, you know. So they captured that sequence flawlessly, man. It was such an impressive moment. The shadows, the brutality, the freaking red color palette, like it literally felt like we were in hell. It was like hell on earth. It was such a nightmarish, hellish sequence. And I don't know if it's truly accurate, but all I know that it got that shit down, and that's something that I can appreciate and admire from this book. And yeah, it's just pretty cool stuff, you know. I really like that. Yeah. The seduction scene. There is a seduction scene in this movie, guys, that it caught me off guard because it was a scene where Keanu Reeves was in the castle already with Dracula, right? Well, I don't know where this dream sequence came out. He was getting like hypnotized. It was like a dream sequence. These fucking naked vampire chicks started coming out of nowhere, seducing him and everything. Like, man, it was like a man's dream, right? But obviously, it was Dracula distracting him, right, while he was over here doing his, you know, his plan. But besides that, this scene right here, man, this scene alone right here, man, could definitely go on the top 10 best dream sequences that I ever seen. If I would ever do a list like that, this scene would definitely go on there. But the thing is that the thing that I really liked it, the reason why I really liked this scene and this dream sequence, right? And the thing is that there's a lot of standout moments in this movie, but there is something different about this particular scene. And this is the thing. This is the reason why I really liked it. The way they did the dream sequence in this scene was all practical effects. Just the way that the freaking naked vampire chicks came out from the floor with the silk blanket. It was like so trippy, but it was real at the same time because it was practical effects. And it caught me off guard because of how real it was, but at the same time, it was trippy as hell. It was a dream sequence. And I was like, whoa, what the like, what am I watching right now? It like really caught me off guard and really wowed me. And I was like, this is freaking amazing. I love these effects, like these practical effects. I love what they did here. It's all practical, old school filmmaking. And on top of that, like this scene right here, and today, nowadays, it would easily have been done in CGI. That's literally one of the reasons why it caught me off guard, because you would literally expect that scene to be CGI'd. Because that's what we're used to watching today, right? But no, it was practical. So it has like a different feel to it, man. It really wows you. It's such a wow moment, and I just love those old school effects. And on top of that, there's some other cool effects they used for so they can the moments where the vampire chicks were crawling in the walls backwards, like they were crawling back, but they used stop motion. Or it was like stop motion effects, like, and they kind of like sped it up. It was like stop motion, and oh my god, man, the way they would just crawl back, oh man, it was like weird. It was like crippling, you know what I mean? And I love freaking stop motion, man. I love these old school effects, man. I'm a sucker for it. If you have these effects in your movies, man, you're gonna make me love your movie, man, like a lot, and you're gonna get me hooked. You're gonna sell me. So, but that's the thing. I love these old school effects, and it's something that we don't get today as often, of course, because everything's freaking CGI. So that's something that you could really appreciate about this movie, and you can definitely get impressed by in 2025, like today. So it was amazing, man. I love those effects. I'm a sucker for those effects, and every time we get them, I can really appreciate it. And it was such a neat experience. That's what it was. It was such a neat experience. And this movie is already a visually impressive film, but that scene alone already, man, stands out the most out of everything. And this movie is already fucking visually impressive. So that really tells you something, man. Like those old school effects really make the movie age, good, especially today with CGI. And yeah, that scene was amazing. That's definitely a standout scene that deserves to be on my good side of my review. And I hope that scene alone could get you guys to watch the movie. At least check it out for once, at least, But yeah, those are my thoughts. Yeah. Okay. Ullman's performance. Obviously, he had the best performance in the movie, but his character, obviously he might not be my favorite take on this classic character. He might not be my favorite, right? Like I said, but man, that makeup is really well done, and the performance, like I said. But the thing that really made me find this take of the character the most interesting was the character traits and the abilities of the character. Man, there's some good stuff here when it comes to this new take of this classic character. And one of the things is that he can literally, man, like he can be at two places at once with his shadows or with his supernatural nature. Like, for example, there is a scene where Keanu Reeves was shaving, and you can just see Dracula's white pale hand with his sharp nails slowly creeping behind Keanu Reeves' shoulder as he's shaving, right? And out of nowhere, Keanu Reeves turns around quick, and next you know it, freaking Dracula is all the way over there on the front of the door, or the entrance of the room. I was like, bruh, what the fuck? Like, that was so like thought provoking. Just the way that all played out, like it messed with my head. It was like so trippy. And there's another moment too that really fucked me up, that I really liked about the character, is he can literally, like, with his supernatural nature, he was literally over here paying a visit to Winona Ryder's character, which is Keanu Reeves' wife, which is the girl that, Dracula is obsessed with because she resembles his dead wife. She literally looks like her. But this is the thing. He was, while he's over here paying a visit to Winona Ryder's character, he's over here miles and miles away with Keanu Reeves at his creepy castle. And he's at two places at once, and I was like, whoa, this is pretty awesome stuff. Like, I love what Coppola's doing here. I love these ideas. And I love how he can be at two places at once. His trippy, like, really thought-provoking, trippy nature of his is very supernatural in a way. But another thing is, another part of it that I really liked is he has more than one transformation. He literally starts off as a movie as his younger self, with like long hair and his battle suit, and then centuries later, more present time of the movie, it's more like just old man. It's pretty much just old man with curly hair, and he's in the city. That's another form of his. And then there's another form where he has the pale makeup on and his freaking red gown. And another form is really disgusting vampire creature, type of look. But this is the one that really fucking sold me. This is the one that really got me, guys. Which I didn't expect. I did not expect this. We literally got some werewolf action. No pun intended, because literally there's a scene where we get to see a werewolf have sex with Winona Ryder's character's slutty friend. But that's a different story. That's a whole different thing. But literally, he can literally transform into a freaking werewolf. And I was like, okay, you got me. Like, oh shit. Okay, like, you got me, right? Like I said, you got me, right? So, like, you sold me. I was like, no way. I love this genre. And I didn't freaking expect to get werewolf action, or for him to have the ability to turn into a werewolf. He already had so many transformations, but a werewolf? Okay, that's freaking awesome. Like, man, that's fucking awesome, man. Man, that's some of the things that really made this unique take of the character really fascinating to me, and something that really made me like this character a lot. Those are some things that I really enjoyed and I really admired. And man, like, Coppola, he has some great ideas here, man. Like, this is, like I said, such a unique take on this classic character. And man, there's a lot of cool stuff here, man. Those are some of the things I think that make this new take of Dracula really interesting, and those are some of the things I thought were the best parts of this character that really stand out and that I thought were really freaking awesome. Like, man, that was so cool, man. Like, this is such a unique take on this character, and there's really nothing like it out there. So yeah, those are some stuff that I really liked about this new take of this character, and that I thought were really cool. There's some cool stuff, man. That was some cool stuff. Hey guys, I apologize for the little pause here, but I'm just going to give you guys a heads up here that there's going to be a little change from here on in the video with my appearance. You guys are going to see me with a beard and a new shirt on, but that's okay. A man had to get a shave mid-filming, but I'm just giving you guys a heads up, okay? To let you guys know so you guys won't get caught off guard and understand what's going on. Alright then, let's get back to the video. Let's go. Okay guys, this is the next thing I thought was good. The visual effects, of course, the visual effects. This is one of the reasons why people come to this movie, obviously, because it has such a visual appeal, this film. And the thing is that, though, the visual effects are just so impressive, man. Like they're pretty amazing. Like, it's what makes this movie unique for sure. And groundbreaking in a way when it comes to visual effects. But the thing is that this movie is so visually appealing that you can just have this movie playing in the background while you're doing something else and just enjoy it like that. You can just like switch it off, mute it, and just enjoy the movie just for the visual effects alone. So, but the thing is that not just that, but all the creative things they did visually in this movie with transitions and old school effects, all kinds of things like that. The thing what I mean is that there's like moments in the movie where they did some crazy ass transitions that you would never even think about. Like, it's like insane. They're really creative. Where they did a close up on Winona Ryder's friend, the her slutty friend, and she had a bite mark on her neck, and that those little marks, those little holes transitioned to werewolf eyes. It just transitioned into werewolf eyes, guys. I was like, okay, this is crazy. Like, I never seen any transitions like that in my life, and stuff like that, man. It's just very unique. It has some crazy visually creative transitions. Like, there's so many to count, but that's one example. And another one too is where they did these crazy like these off kilter, camera movements, like from showing the perspective of Dracula when he'll become like, either Dracula like as the vampire, or when he becomes the werewolf. Some crazy ass off kilter perspectives. Like, there's some crazy creative visuals like that. But also there was a scene too where it pretty much showed old man's Dracula. He went into the city, but the way they did it, like, they literally like shot it in a very old school, like, silent era way, but when I saw it, I was like, whoa, what the fuck is going on? Like, it felt like I was watching a different movie. It literally felt so exactly like a silent era movie from that time, from like the 20s or even earlier. It felt so authentic to that style that it caught me off guard, and I was like, what the hell? What movie am I watching? Like, it was really cool, man. It was really cool stuff. Like, things like that, like, there's a lot of visually creative things in this film, and like, there's so much to count, but those are some examples. And so pretty much, yeah, like the visuals, everything they did creatively with the visuals were all like amazing, breathtaking stuff. And like, there's a lot of things that you would never even think of, like, oh, like who created this? Like, who came up with this? You know what I mean? Like, you would never even think about it. So like, there's a lot of really cool stuff in this movie visually. It's such a visually impressive film that like you can just like enjoy for that reason, and that reason alone makes this movie good. So yeah, that's that. And yeah, obviously the visual effects. Alright, guys, let's get into the bad of the movie, what I thought was bad. So pretty much the first thing I'm going to talk about is the score movie. I thought it was a hit or miss. It was a hit or miss score because right from the beginning of the movie, what's it called? There is a score called The Beginning, where it starts off as dun 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 dun, just constantly dun dun dun, right? But after a while, it got so freaking annoying, bro. Like, it got just so annoying to the point where I was like, okay, I'm not enjoying this. Like, it literally like took me out of the movie, like, to the point where it kind of ruined my experience a little bit. So I was like, okay, this is not going so good so far. It's not a good start when it comes to the score so far. So it was very repetitive and just annoying as hell. Yeah, I understand music could be repetitive, but not to the point where it got so freaking annoying that it felt like they don't know what else to play. Like, they literally, like, it was so repetitive to such an annoying degree that it literally felt like they didn't know what else to play. So yeah, like, yeah, music can be repetitive, but not to that degree. So yeah, pretty much I didn't really like the score from the beginning of the film, like right from the start. But there was other moments where they were brilliant, like the score was brilliant, don't get me wrong. But for the most part, it was a hit or miss. It was like, it had some good moments, but I feel like it had more misses than good. So than hits. So yeah, I wasn't really a big fan of the score, and you guys can hear it for yourselves. Maybe you guys will like it, but for me personally, I wasn't the biggest fan of the score, and it just got freaking annoying to unbearable degree, man. So yeah, pretty much. Okay, the next thing in the movie, which is one of my biggest issues of this film, but first of all, let me clear this out. I understood this movie, okay? I understood, I was following the film, I understand what they're trying to go for and everything, right? I get it. But in the middle part of the film, like, right in the middle part, like the second act, maybe like towards the end of the first act, around there, bruh, it was so confusing. Like I was like following the movie, everything. You know, I was engaged. You know, but something about that middle part of the movie that there was like so much going on that I was confused. I was like, what the hell's going on in this movie? Like I don't get it. Like I'm confused. So it just I even replayed it back and I still didn't get it. Like it was still very confusing, and the thing is that I feel like it was convoluted. I feel like the middle part there, the story was very convoluted because it pretty much felt like since they're doing an adaptation, it felt like they were just trying to pack everything as much as they can, you know, because they have to, because obviously they're adapting a novel, so they're trying to pack as much information, as much story as they can in the middle part there, because they're doing an adaptation, you know, they're following the source. So but I felt like that just made things confusing and very convoluted in the middle part there. But as the movie went, it did get better. It did get way better, but at the same time, I think that little middle part right there is definitely an issue, and a big issue for me for sure, especially for myself. It was so confusing. Like I said, I even went back to play it to understand it better, but still like nothing. Like I still didn't get it. I was very confused. I even had to stop and say like, what the like I even said like, the fuck, what's going on? Like, what the hell is going on in the movie? Like, I don't get it. Like, what's happening here? Like, I was genuinely confused. Like, I don't know what the hell is going on. Like, there's so much story and exposition and, you know, narration. And it was just so confusing. Like, I just didn't get it. I feel like they were just packing so much information and source material just because they had to. Because, like I said, yeah, they're doing adaptation, so yeah, that was my biggest issue, was the little middle part there, like the second act, like the second act towards like the end first act. That's where the issue lies. So yeah, I wasn't really a fan of that. It kind of ruined my experience, and I don't like that. It just made things boring and confusing, and when I was really trying to give the movie a shot, so I don't like that. That was an issue for me. Okay, guys, the narration. Hear me out. Okay, hear me out. This is one of the reasons why the convoluted part, my other point, and this reason is one of the reasons why one of the important points that I'm trying to get across to you guys when it comes to this review. The narration. Okay, I didn't freaking like the narration in this movie, man. Not the actor did a great job. Whoever that voice actor was, he wasn't the problem. It wasn't the performance. It's the voice they decided to use was the problem for me, man. Is the thing is that what's it called? The thing is that I get it. Like I understand what they're trying to go for. They're trying to go for this old school historian, you know, like old school historian type of voice, because obviously it's like very like there's a lot of history like this movie's tackling as the movie's narrating, but I don't think that voice that they decided to use was it, man. I don't think it was it.
Captain's log, the Demeter, 27th June, 1897. We picked up 50 boxes of experimental earth, bound for London, England. Set sail at noon into a storm that seemed to come out of nowhere, carrying us out to sea.
It was so boring, bland, and lifeless. Like I felt like I was getting a history lesson instead of like enjoying the movie. So it kind of ruined my engagement of the film. And honestly, I preferred Keanu Reeves narration, like that little scene, like that one scene that he did a narration, I prefer that narration over the main narration of the film.
The impression I had was that we were leaving the west and entering the east. The district I am to enter is in the extreme east of the country, just on the borders of 3 states, Transylvania, Moldavia, and Bukovina, in the midst of the Carpathian Mountains, one of the wildest and least known portions of Europe.
Captain's log, the Demeter, 27th June, 1897. We picked up 50 boxes of experimental earth, bound for London, England. Set sail at noon into a storm that seemed to come out of nowhere, carrying us out to sea.
That's how fucking bad it was. And everybody's saying that Keanu Reeves' performance with his British accent is horrible. Nah. The real problem is that freaking voice, man. That voice it decided to use for the narration of the film, that wasn't it, man. That's the real problem here, man. And like, I really think that's the real problem. It's just that, man, like, it's such a boring, lifeless, bland voice, like, that they decided to use. Like, it just made, it just felt like I was getting a history lesson. Like, I couldn't enjoy the movie or engage. I don't think even history buffs would be able to engage with this. So, I don't know. It just wasn't it. Like I get it. Like I said, I understand what they're trying to go for. But it just wasn't it, man. Like, I feel like they could have used a better voice. And especially when you pair it next to those stunning visuals. Yeah, that voice was just in it, man. It wasn't it, man. Yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on that. Okay, guys, this is the last thing that I thought was bad of the movie, and I believe to be a flaw. I don't know if people have caught this, but I think it's a flaw of the movie. It's definitely one that stands out. Like, in the third act, they were trying to chase Dracula and get him before he can get to his castle, like down the path going to his castle. The main characters, Keanu Reeves, Winona, Van Helsing, and many other guys helping them out. They were trying to get Dracula and get him before he can make it to the castle, before the sun goes down and rises down, right? The thing is that he was hiding the whole time, right? He was hiding inside a barrel in a wagon as the horse was put, like riding him off, and as everybody was chasing him on the horses, right? So yeah, it makes sense. He was hiding inside a wooden barrel, hiding from the sun, right? The sun was still out. It was just slowly going down, but it was out, right? And he was hiding the whole time, and it was like, you can tell, like, the sun was beaming. But this is the thing, though. Winona Ryder, she's loyal, right? She's loyal to Dracula. So at this point, they have their relationship again, because after everything that happened from the beginning, because she literally looks like his wife that died in the beginning, and he kind of like hypnotized her to come back as her. It's like if Winona's related, related to the dead wife, like that's probably like her old ancestor, even though they never explained that in the movie, but it's like we had to put that together. That, honestly, that can probably be another issue in itself as well. So, but anyways, back to what I was saying. This is the thing, though. Winona Ryder is already a vampire at this point. She's loyal to Dracula. They've had a relationship already up to this point of the movie. Like, they already established a relationship and all that, right? But this is the thing, guys. This is where I'm getting to. The problem is that Dracula's hiding in the barrel from the sun so the sun can't burn him and kill him, right? But the whole time they're chasing him, trying to get him. And Winona Ryder's a vampire. Why didn't she die from the sun? Like, she's outside in the open with the sun. Why isn't she dead? Why didn't she hide like Dracula? She's a vampire. Why didn't the sun kill her, affect her, or anything? That's an interesting question, huh? And that's something that I noticed, that something that doesn't make sense. And I feel like it's definitely, it can definitely be definitely a plot hole or just a logic inconsistency. Just a normal, just a flaw in itself. Because it doesn't make sense for her to be a vampire and she's outside in the open while the sun is beaming, but Dracula over here is hiding in a barrel from the sun so it won't kill him. But the sun doesn't do shit to her. She doesn't die or get affected by it at all or try to hide. But the whole time she's trying to she's trying to defend her her freaking boyfriend Dracula because they're trying to attack him. But the only reason why they did that is so they can freaking have her protect her lover, so because she's loyal to him. So honestly, like, it just felt forced and it doesn't make sense. So that was definitely an issue in the movie that I noticed, and that definitely deserves to go on the bad side of my review. So that's definitely a flaw of the movie for sure. Alright guys, that was it. That was I tackled the good and the bad, what I thought was good and bad of the film. Now let's get into the ranking of the film. Okay, so we're gonna find out what I rank this film on my ranking system. This is definitely a little bit more flawed type of movie than the last films that I did, and this is my third video on my channel, and that's just something that I noticed. But I really did like a lot of stuff about this film. It has a lot of merit to it. Just a lot of awesome stuff, man, especially as a fan of this genre. And there's a lot to appreciate. This is Coppola's own take on this classic character, and it was as far as I know, it was faithful to the source. But the thing is that it was flawed. It was a flawed movie, and that's definitely gonna affect the ranking of the film. So let's just bring that into consideration. Let's see what I end up ranking this film. Like what ends up being the ranking of the film. So is this movie gonna be good? Is this movie gonna be in the middle? Is this movie gonna be bad? I don't know. We're just gonna have to find out on my ranking. I'm gonna rank this movie out of 0 out of 100. Let's see. What are we gonna rank this thing? Let's see. Okay, this is what I'm gonna rank Francis Coppola's Dracula. I'm gonna rank it A. Out of 0 out of 100% on my ranking scale, I will be ranking it A. 78% on my ranking scale. That's what I'm gonna rank Francis Coppola's Dracula. A 78% on my ranking scale. So that falls under 78% on my ranking scale. That falls under it's above average for sure. It's close to being great. Like, it's close to being great. It's definitely above average. So it falls under good. It's good, but it's not great. But definitely, like, there's a lot. Look, guys, there's a lot to love here, man. There's so much to love here, man. There's a lot of awesome stuff here. Like, I really, like, besides his issues of the movie and my problems with it, there's a lot of stuff that I really liked and I really enjoyed of this film. And there's a lot. Like I said, there's a lot to love here. Like, there's so much. Like, there's so many great ideas. Like, this is Coppola's own take on this classic character. There's a lot to appreciate and admire here. And I know that a lot of you, there's a lot of things that I know a lot of you guys and a lot of people will love in this movie. So I still, even if it's not a great movie, it's still a good movie and it's still worth watching, and I still highly recommend you guys to check it out. But check it out on the 4K Blu-ray, man. That's the only way, man. This is the best way to watch this film, especially if you have a big ass TV and some awesome, you know, surround sound, or like some awesome speakers, you know, some a sound bar or something. But I recommend you watch it on that 4K Blu-ray, because that's the best way to watch it, because those colors, man, those colors will pop. That's pretty much it, guys. That's my review, that's my ranking, and I really hope you guys enjoyed and had a good time today, and thank you guys for bearing with me. And you know, I'm still getting used to this whole YouTube stuff, but the most important thing is thank you guys. Thanks for you guys for watching. Like whoever clicked, like who's ever clicking, thank you. I really appreciate you. Thank you for supporting my dreams, and thank you for sticking around. Whoever made it to the end, I appreciate you a lot. The next video is gonna be something a little bit different. For the next video, it's I'm gonna try to bring some more variety to this channel, and like, you know, try to pump out different kind of content out that I know you guys are gonna like and enjoy. I'll be doing my normal default content is reviews, right? Classic reviews like always, but I'm also gonna do other type of content as well, not just reviews. But I'll be bringing much more content to you guys, like different. Like I'll be bringing some variety to you guys, and there's gonna be so much different things coming. So stay tuned for the next video, because it's gonna be something different, and you never know what it is gonna be. You never know what kind of movie I'm gonna tackle next, or movies I'm gonna tackle next. You guys never know. So stay tuned for the next one, because it's gonna be something different, and it's gonna be something exciting and brand new for this channel. Like definitely, I'll be bringing some variety for now on and on this channel, and I'm excited to share that with you guys. So yeah, so be on the lookout for my next video, because it's definitely gonna be something different. So yeah, stay tuned, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.